Hey, John here with My Low Carb Coach, and I did a video just recently about should you count calories or net carbs, or should you not count those things or anything? And I thought I would do this follow-up video about the carbohydrate aspects of things because this is a question that I get a lot of times. Should I count total carbs or should I count net carbs if carb counting is the way that you prefer to track kind of what you're doing and stuff? So, great question. And the thing is that if you're doing net carbs, okay, so first of all, let's define what net carbs is. Net carbs is if you take the total carbohydrates of a packaged food. So it's, um, let's just say it's some kind of keto bread, right? Which I'm not a fan of. I'm just putting that out there right now. But let's say it's like a keto bread. And for each slice of the bread, total carbohydrates is, let's just say 10, okay? 10 grams of carbs. And then the fiber is 5 grams. So then net carbs, you could take the total carbs, 10, minus the fiber, and then that equals what? 5, right? So it has 5 net carbs. And then you could even subtract out what's called sugar alcohols. So sugar alcohols would be things that would be like allulose or xylitol, erythritol, monk fruit. Okay, these are sugar alcohols that sweeten foods. So if you're eating something like a keto ice cream, and let's say it's got 10 grams of total carbs, and let's just say, so I can say there's fiber in there. Let's say there's like 2 grams of inulin fiber. So that would be 10 minus 2. So we have 8 grams net carbs. And then you minus out the sugar alcohols. And let's say that was 3 grams of sugar alcohols. So then you have the 10 minus minus the 2, which is the fiber. So we're at 8. And then minus 3 grams for the sugar alcohols. And now you arrive at 5 net carbs. So if you're counting carbs and you're counting net carbs, and you only allow yourself, let's say, 30 grams of net carbs a day, but total carbs might be, you might consume 80, but net you were at net 30. So then that means that then, you've only eating that ice cream, you've only included 5 net carbs to your total carb allotment for the day because you're doing net carbs. And when you do net carbs, okay, if your weight has stalled out, one of the first things that I like my clients to do if they're doing net carbs and they're counting carbs is to switch from net carbs to total carbs. And a lot of times that will do it. That will get the weight loss going again. Now, why is that? So there's a number of reasons why that could be. One of them is, listen, we're not usually when people are counting net carbs, they're not talking about whole foods. They're not eating broccoli and counting what's the total grams in the broccoli and minus out the fiber from the broccoli, and that's my net carbs. Now, they might do that, but most people, in my experience with working with people, when they're counting net carbs, they're consuming like the keto treats, the keto cookies, the fat bombs, keto bread, crackers, whatever it might be, which, nutrition wise, probably not the healthiest thing in the world, but if all we're trying to do is just lose weight, that might be a way to go. No judgments here. So, but a couple things with that. So, one of them is in that, let's just take a keto cookie, okay? So, net carbs is like 2 grams in that keto cookie. And then we look at, well, what's the sugar alcohol that they are putting in it that's sweetening that cookie? And that sugar alcohol, let's just say, is monk fruit, okay? Here's the problem. Everybody in this world is a little bit different, right? The way that I process these sugar alcohols, the way that I process sugar, the way that I process fiber might be a little bit different than the way that you do. Does that make sense? Your gut bacteria might be different. Your metabolic health might be different. Your glucose response might be different. Your activity level might be different. There's a lot of different things going on here. And they can affect people differently. So while one person can eat that keto cookie and count the net carbs and their blood sugar stays pretty flat, another person can eat that and their blood sugar will go up. But here's the kicker, it's not only blood sugar, it's not only the glucose that we're looking at here that these things could rise. What's ultimately that we're trying to lower when we're doing low carbs? What are we trying to lower? What hormone are we trying to lower so that we can actually start burning fat for fuel? Okay, it's the reason why we keep blood sugar down. And that is, we don't want to keep spiking insulin. Insulin's the real culprit here, not sugar. Sugar has lots of reasons for being a culprit, don't get me wrong, but as far as weight loss go, we want to keep our blood sugar down so we're not spiking insulin. But it's shown in some studies that there are insulin responses and the blood sugar might not go up super high. So it might be affecting some people in that way. Okay, and then so that's the sugar alcohol wise. Then there's fiber. Listen, when you're talking about packaged foods here, okay, we're not talking about the fiber that's in some kind of whole food, like I said, like broccoli or asparagus or something. We're talking about if it's a keto bread, let's say, they're adding in from that processing, because when they process and they make the bread, they likely stripped out all of the natural fiber from any plant material that was used. So what they do is they add that fiber back in artificially. And that might be like chicory root, insulin, or not insulin, inulin, it might be some fibers like that. And when they do that, I mean, who knows how that stuff is affecting in everybody's body. This is not a natural thing that grew in the ground that is providing fiber. It's something that humans are in a laboratory putting things back in it. And how is that affecting every single person? Your guess is as good as mine. So this is why we sometimes, if I have a client, if they're doing net carbs, I say, well, let's switch to total carbs and let's see what that kind of does for you. And that might kick in the weight loss thing. And then another reason why that might work is just, look, simply you're consuming less carbs. If you're going to get more strict with carbohydrates, and instead of net carbs, you're going to count total carbs, then you're probably going to be consuming less calories, because a lot of the keto foods and stuff, they're either going to be a lot of calories in it, or perhaps you're eating just a lot of whatever it is. So if it's like keto crackers, it's 2 carb crackers, 1 net carb crackers, or whatever it is, or ice cream. You might be eating a lot of that when if you're counting total carbs, you're like, well, I don't really feel like snacking on a bunch of broccoli right now. So it could be that you're just starting to consume more food because net carbs is letting you have a bunch of snacks and a bunch of things that you might start over consuming, or you eat more of the crackers than you would just eating something like a cheese stick or something. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you would like my help with losing weight, then I periodically bring in new students and help new students. And if you would like to get on my wait list, tap the link below or to the side of the video here. There's a link to my wait list. Get on that wait list. Why not? It's free to get on the wait list just to check out, hey, what does this guy do? How can this guy help me? And if you have more than about 50 pounds to lose, and if it's 40, it's 40. But if I can help anybody lose weight, really. But in general, my program that I do, I kind of tailor it for people who have about 50 or more pounds to lose. And then, if that's you and you'd like some help, then click the link, get on my wait list, and I'll be sure that you are the first one to be notified when, hey, I'm accepting new clients, and maybe you can be my next success story. How would that be? All right, I'll catch you in another video.